Welcome to another installment of ECE's 5 Steps to Call Center Excellence. The topic for this session is recruiting and screening. Recruiting and screening is arguably the most important process in any business, certainly call centers included. When you think about sports teams, let's say a football team, people spend a lot of time, and some people do it even in their fantasy football leagues, trying to find the best possible player at each position in order to make their team successful. However, in call centers, this is often an overlooked process where people just quickly do kind of cursory interviews, maybe not even on the frontline operations floor, put people into training classes, and then wonder why their team doesn't have the talent needed to be the best ever call center. So what we like to build are very strict documented interview processes that avoid this. And using our 5-step process, we're going to give the 5 key steps that you need to take on in order to be world-class in your recruiting and screening processes. The first is document your interview questions. Everybody should be using the same interview questions. We shouldn't just have whoever happened to do the interview try to think up some questions while they just came out of a meeting and they're not even thinking so much about the interview at that moment. Very common pitfall you can avoid by having documented interview questions for each level of interview. And what you want to do is you want to not use what we call leading questions. You want to use open questions. A leading question would be, tell me about a situation where you were not given the tools that you needed to be successful, and what did you do to make the situation come out positively? I basically led you to the answer. Don't use leading questions, use open-ended questions. What was the most difficult situation you faced during your time at that job? Something like that will give you much more interesting answers. That's step number 1. Let's get documented interview questions and make them open and not leading. Step number 2, do multiple interviews. Everybody who interviews a candidate should score them as an A, B, or C. A being fantastic, B being I think so, C being I don't think this is a good fit. And multiple people voting and scoring will allow you to put together the best combined scores to have a higher chance to find people with a great job fit. So that's our second key element there. Our third is a job simulation interview. What I mean by that is if the job is handling phone calls while using a computer system, while maybe hotkeying to a second computer system, set up a simple mini version of the job, have somebody actually talk to you in an unscripted environment while navigating 2 computer systems. They don't have to be the actual production systems. It could just be an Excel and a website, but it'll show you their ability to multitask or do the key skills necessary to be very successful on the floor. That's our third. Fourth is check references. People think, oh, it's just a call center agent. Do I really need to go through reference checks? Yes, you do. Check references, talk to prior supervisors, and don't just take the 2 references that they give you. Ask them for 5, 6, 7 references and pick 2 or 3 from that list at random to make sure that you're not just calling the person who's been pre-scripted to say beautiful things about that candidate. This will definitely help you find some of the people who don't have great backgrounds and don't want you to know about it until it's too late. The final of our list is record all of the interviews so others can hear and participate in the evaluation. So if you have 2 interviews and a job simulation, the 2 interviews should be recorded, should be made available as an audio so anybody can join in and help out with the process. If you stick with these 5 steps, add as you see necessary, but at least a minimum follow these 5 steps, you're going to see dramatic improvement in your recruiting and screening processes and a dramatic improvement in the talent on your operations floor.